Hey, it's Zane. Welcome back. Hope you're having an awesome day today. And in this video, I want to share with you why I believe that Bitcoin is peace. Bitcoin is the antithesis to what we're seeing in the world right now, and that is unfolding chaos geopolitically, economically. There's so much division in society. There's a massive growing wealth gap. There's a housing crisis. There's a cost of living crisis. There's a lot of people giving up hope. There's a lot of people leaving this country looking for options to get out. And this is all a sign of the times. And people who are paying attention can see that the future inside the debt-based fiat system is not bright. You know, we are all a part of a broken system, a system that is at the end of its useful life. And the reason we know that is because right now we can see what the agenda is: to start rolling out more centralization, more control, more taxation, to start tightening the screws on people's liberties and freedoms and their sovereignty and their lives. And so when you end up at a crossroads where you can begin to see these things looming, you've got to ask yourself whether you're prepared to sit there and be a casualty, to be a sitting duck in all of this, or whether you think that it's time to actually pivot, do things differently, and to take action so that you can protect and preserve your liberties and your freedoms and your sovereignty. And ultimately, Bitcoin is the only tool that enables that. And there's lots of reasons for this, because most people who come to Bitcoin, they come here because they're excited by the potential to accelerate their wealth. I mean, this is why I originally came to Bitcoin, because I saw its growth rate, compared it to other assets, knew that over the course of time, provided that Bitcoin remained decentralized and secure, that it would stand me and my family the best chance of taking ourselves to a level of wealth that we could perhaps only dream of inside the legacy system. And so there's that. But then beyond that, once you have spent some time really going to the next level and studying what Bitcoin represents, why it's here, how it was a gift to humanity on the back of a chaotic time, the global financial crisis, and you start realizing that its decentralization is the most potent and powerful and liberating property of this protocol that you and I can get to participate in, to enable us to have options and to preserve our dignity and our self-sovereignty, and to restore emotional and future-based and spiritual hope to ourselves and our families. Now, I know this is pretty deep in this video, and yesterday I did a video about how you can basically set yourself up with a $10 million Bitcoin retirement nest egg, and that video right now is actually trending as #1 on my channel of all time. And I've only been doing these videos for about 6 months, and so it's still a learning journey for me to figure out what my audience wants, what you guys want from me. And there are days that I think to myself, am I on track? Am I doing the right thing here? Should I keep showing up? I get some pretty shitty comments on my videos from time to time where people say, well, you talk about wealth creation and Bitcoin and how powerful it is, why are you doing videos in your car? But those of you who have spent some time with me know that this is where I think best in terms of just sharing my general thoughts. Everything's unscripted. I've never edited a single video that I share. I make a few notes from time to time, but very rarely do I actually refer to them. But everything I do in terms of my coaching is done on Zoom, either in my home or in my office, and it's done one-on-one where I'm able to share my screen so that we can go through resources. I always follow up with a detailed email giving you guidance based on our conversation. And then I have my Bitcoin Success Circle mentorship community, and all of my trainings are done in my studio. And those of you who are part of my community, you know that. And so, I could sit there in my office or my studio and do these videos, but that's not what works for me. So please don't comment, why am I doing my videos in my car? Because this is how I like to do it. And if I hadn't have done this, then I wouldn't be sharing the way that I do, because this is where I am in a place, headspace, where I feel like I'm able best to just share what's on my mind and from the heart. So I hope that's okay to keep sharing like that. So Bitcoin is peace. Bitcoin is peace. Peace in response to what? That's really the question. We are in a situation right now where there is geopolitical uncertainty around the world. There is so much division in society. Right now in the US, they have a US government shutdown. They can't agree, the two sides of the aisle can't agree as to the budget, how much they're going to inject into the system in order to keep the system afloat. And really what's going to come out of this is they're going to take money printing and inflation to levels that we've never seen before. And that is going to drive asset prices to unprecedented levels. Real estate, the stock market, Bitcoin. And I really fear for those who haven't got their capital stored in those assets, because whatever you see right now in terms of a wealth gap, it's only about to get even wider. And so we have to be thinking very much about ways that we can protect ourselves. We have coming digital surveillance. This is on the agenda. Programmable money, restrictions on banking. It's happening right now. Yesterday in Australia, we had the Commonwealth Bank of Australia make an announcement. They couldn't. There was a shutdown. People couldn't access their money. People were logging into their accounts, and there was a blank screen. And this creates a lot of uncertainty for people. People become nervous. They start to question why this is happening. And so if you think about it right now, we have banks shutting down, telling their customers where and how they can spend their money, which is happening as well. There are banks placing restrictions on people who are wanting to onboard into things like Bitcoin, and banks are saying, well, no, we don't support that. So in other words, you're not allowed to withdraw your money to an exchange. And those that are allowing it, now they're saying, well, we want to place a limitation as to how much you can actually send. So do you think the banks are nervous about a decentralized monetary system such as Bitcoin? Of course they are, because they know that once the money exits the system, it's not coming back, particularly for those who understand what Bitcoin is. And so this is all the stuff that we're having to contend with now. But the coming digital surveillance system and the central bank digital currencies, and Europe is rolling their CBDCs out this month. That is going to begin this phase of financial tyranny. Financial tyranny. That is what's coming next. Digital IDs followed by central bank digital currencies, which equals financial tyranny. And so you've got to ask yourself whether or not you want to become a casualty of that system. Now, you might say, I have no choice. And I would say to you, you absolutely do have a choice. You absolutely do have a choice, because financial tyranny is the beginning of the end of your freedom as you know it. Believe me. The minute that they can censor, control, and surveil everything about you, and it is centralized to your digital ID, all of your spending habits, your behavior on social media, and all these kinds of things, it's the end of freedom and sovereignty as you know it. It is no longer the lucky country in this country. So this is what is coming, and if you want to protect yourself from all of this and participate in this peaceful opt-out revolution, which is exactly what Bitcoin is, you've got to be doubling down on your learning, your knowledge. You've got to be obviously deploying into Bitcoin, your savings, your capital, anything that's long term that you don't need for the short term. Setting yourself up with a DCA, a dollar cost averaging strategy, highly advisable. And learning about self-custody, because self-custody is the true sovereign revolution of Bitcoin. Again, not spoken about enough, but this is something that I spend a lot of time inside my community, inside my Bitcoin Success Circle group. And we even had Tony Yazbek from the Bitcoin Way come in for the last couple of sessions to really dive into what self-sovereignty in Bitcoin really means. And in our next session this week, we're going to be talking about, becoming a sovereign individual and having optionality in terms of jurisdictional freedom and all these kinds of things, plan Bs. What if things become untenable in the country in which you live? What options do you have? And the thing is that as a Bitcoiner, if you're in self-custody and you're running a node and you have everything set up with redundancies in a really robust setup, you're going to have options. You're going to have options that the average person, no matter how wealthy they are, is not going to have. And so I want you to be really paying close attention to what's going on and to be making sure that you're not just absorbing this information and education, but you're actually acting upon it, no matter how small. Okay, this is such an important time. This is such an important window that you and I have to be taking this seriously, because once the switch is flicked into this new system and all the signs are there that we're heading there at breakneck speed, it's going to be too late. It's just going to be too late. So if you want to escape the debt-based fiat Ponzi scheme, which is at the end of its useful life, and the establishment and the government and the powers that be around the world sitting in their little echo chamber, they're trying to maintain their relevance against the backdrop of a decentralized opt-out protocol, which is what Bitcoin is, that the world is going to need. The world is going to need it, because with AI coming, people know, and they're going to find out very quickly, that their livelihoods are at risk like never before. And against the backdrop of that, you're going to want to be storing your economic value in something that cannot be debased. And the only thing that exists in that format is Bitcoin, and completely decentralized. Unconfiscatable, seizure-proof, uncensorable, completely portable, no permission required, no counterparties or middlemen to engage. That is the new value system. That is the new global settlement layer of money that we're heading towards. So you've got to be asking yourself whether or not you want to have a piece of that system, because that's the thing that's going to give you the most options, the most freedom, the most ability for you to maintain your self-sovereignty, the most hope for a brighter future for yourself and your family. That's the thing that's going to give you the most options. So Bitcoin is built for chaos, which means that it is the tool that enables you, when you understand it, to protect yourself emotionally and spiritually, and to protect your peace. Okay, let me know what you think about this message in the comments below, but I'm really, really resolute about this, because we're entering a phase now where you really want to be thinking to yourself how it is that you can protect yourself financially, physically, emotionally, spiritually, as things get more chaotic as time goes on here. The thing about Bitcoin is it doesn't care what's happening in the world, geopolitically, financially. Bitcoin just sits there over on the sidelines and just tick-tock next block every 10 minutes. It does its thing. New Bitcoin is produced. Hard cap of 21 million. Nobody will ever change it. There's nodes running all around the world. They're essentially performing an audit on the entire Bitcoin ecosystem every 10 minutes. And if you run a node, guess what? You are an active participant in that network. Imagine being an active participant inside the Reserve Bank of Australia. Imagine being able to audit the Reserve Bank of Australia every 10 minutes as a participant. Imagine that. Imagine what you would find. We don't even know how much gold is in Fort Knox, or even if there is any gold there. Imagine if there was an audit performed on Fort Knox every 10 minutes. Imagine if you were able to audit the inner workings of your bank that you bank with, the branch that you bank with, every 10 minutes. This is what you have with Bitcoin. This is why Bitcoin has never been hacked. This is why Bitcoin cannot be stopped. This is why people who really understand Bitcoin, they understand that this is the path of least resistance to a brighter and better future. Okay, so this is where we are now. Protect your peace, take your Bitcoin knowledge to the next level, learn about self-custody, make sure you have the most robust setup that you possibly can have. If you want to take action on this and you need my guidance, book a call with me, a one-on-one session. Every day I have coaching calls with people from all walks of life, people who I've never met before, who reach out to me, who are resonating with what I'm sharing, and I share. I let them know based on their questions, their goals, where they're at, what I would do in their situation. And if you go to the booking page on my website, you'll see the link below in my show notes. You'll see the plethora of feedback reviews that people give to me, not because I ask for them, because I've put them on the right path. And so if you'd like me to help you with that, book a session with me. You'll get tremendous value from that, and I'll put you on the path as well. And a lot of this is to do with mindset, getting your mindset right, because without the right mindset, it's very difficult to really move forward in a positive way in Bitcoin, because you get constantly caught up in all of the noise. You double guess yourself, right? You struggle to actually hit that buy button, which is the most important first step in all of this. And there's a lot of misinformation out there and a lot of confusing information, conflicting information, and sometimes you just need clarity, and bouncing this off somebody who's been there, done that, is one of the most valuable things that you can do. So I want to leave it there today. Protect your peace, become future focused, plug into a community of like-minded people. I cannot emphasize that enough. This is why I created my Bitcoin Success Circle. People from all around Australia are a part of this. We get together every single month on Zoom. We also have a 6-week training program that we've conducted live. Week 6 is this Tuesday. It's not too late for you to join. You'll get all of the recordings inside our membership portal. We have a Signal chat group, very vibrant group all around Australia, posting messages in there day to day, very supportive. And this is what we're doing, because I believe that we're entering a phase now where one of the greatest assets that you're going to have is the people that you're connected with. People who are like-minded, people you can rely on, people who you can bounce ideas off and strategically work with to create new opportunities. So I'm going to leave it there today. Please leave your thoughts in the comments below. And again, if you'd like to book a session with me, please click the link below, and I look forward to meeting you on Zoom. Hope you got some value today. Thanks so much. This is Zane signing out. Bye for now.